And just minutes away from starting week 2 here on the NFL Today. Some of you will see the Browns and the Ravens. Meanwhile, others will see Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Tommy Maddox will be taking on the Chiefs. Last time he went in a game against the Chiefs, he was in subbing for John Elway back in 1992. What do you see in that game today?
Pittsburgh must run the ball to control the clock because you don't want that Kansas City offense on the field because Priest Holmes, I'm telling you, he's going to do his work.
But that's really not their style. I mean, they still want to spread everything out and you know, get Amos Zaraway outside.
And the Jets home opener. Here they come. They're bringing them out one unit at a time. What about it, Boomer?
I'll tell you, Paul Hackett all week long in New York has been hearing it from the fans, been hearing it from the media. Throw the ball downfield. And as we see Vinny Testaverde run out onto the field, we'll see if they utilize his arm and try to get into some 3-receiver sets to take advantage of Terrell Hunt.
Who's your star of the day, everybody, real quick? I'll take Tom Brady.
I'll take Plummer, bouncing back.
Mark Bolger, St. Louis.
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. All right.
All quarterbacks, huh?
And look at Chad Pennington out there mixing it up with his guys.
He's not that fired up when he plays.
All right, for those of you scheduled to see a 4 o'clock game, we're back in just a moment. But for most of you, it is game time on the NFL Today. Enjoy it all right here. Doubleheader day coming your way on CBS. We'll see you at halftime right back here at Studio 43 in New York. Enjoy it all.
Thank you, Jim, and welcome to warm Jacksonville, where today the Bills meet the Jaguars. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Craigie with Steve Tasker. Week 2 of the NFL season is usually when the truth starts to unfold. And the question is, are the Bills really as good as they looked last week, shutting out the Patriots? We do know, Steve, those new defenders are legit.
Well, they have 5 new defenders starting defenders on defense, and 4 of them are the free agents that you know about. Spikes, Adams, Malloy, and Posey. Those aren't just numbers, folks. Those are game-changing plays. This defense believes that it's good enough to carry this team on its back to victory. And, Don, if they pitch another scoreless shutout, they'll be right.
But they're looking to do that. Back after work from your local station, you're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 38.
I keep my eyes wide
Johnny
open all
Cash, the man, the artist, the legend. Profiled as only 60 Minutes can. Tonight.
Survivors Overboard in 4 days. Don't miss the premiere. CBS this Thursday.
IBM presents In the Pocket, a look at today's best quarterback matchups. This week in Kansas City, Tommy Maddox faces Trent Green. Last Sunday, Maddox had the NFL's highest passer rating in his first ever opening day start, while Green led a Chiefs team that scored 24 first-half points in a decisive victory.
In my dream, I'm in a museum.
Executivus obsoletus.
Executivus obsoletus.
He's extinct.
I'm extinct.
His inability to adapt to the rapidly changing business climate proved his downfall.
What does it mean?
You need to adapt fast or perish.
Perish?
Or be acquired.
I'd rather perish.
Let's go see the woolly mammoth.
At Damon's, we think the entire world revolves around a flaming grill. A grill loaded up with prime rib, choice steaks, tender chicken, salmon, and more. But somehow, a lot of people think we only serve award-winning ribs. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Damon's, the grill is on.
Where can you see new hit movies with the hottest stars and your Hollywood favorites all for free? Right here on DirecTV programming during the Star Super PAC Free Movie Weekend, September 26th, 27th, and 28th on channels 520 through 533. It's your free peek inside the 12 distinct channels of the Star Super PAC. Watch the Star Super PAC Free Movie Weekend, only from DirecTV.
Sunday Ticket is brought to you by Damon's Grill.
To the following presentation of the National Football League on CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 38.
And welcome back to warm Jacksonville, where the Bills are about to meet the Jaguars. Heat will be a factor today. Don Quiggy with Steve Tasker a week ago. Both these teams started fast. The Bills kept it going, but the Jaguars turned a 17-point lead at Carolina into a 1-point loss. Terrible special teams. Can they get that corrected?
Well, they can correct it in one play. They're looking to have a big play on special teams today. They gave up a block punt for a safety in a 1-point loss and then got their own field goal attempt for the win blocked as well. They need to bounce back against the Bills today.
Well, they've got the quarterback that can bounce him back. That's Mark Brunell. The Bills know him well. An excellent left-hander, has been to 3 Pro Bowls. We'll be back with the opening kickoff. The Bills and the Jaguars in a moment.
Subway presents Fresh Starts, a glance at teams looking to turn heads this season. Subway, eat fresh. Bills head coach Greg Williams' revamped defense shut out the Patriots 31-0 in Week 1. New additions this year include rookie end Chris Kelsay, tackle Sam Adams, linebacker Takeo Spikes, and recently acquired safety Lawyer Malloy. With a formidable defense, fans are optimistic for the season ahead.
Herman and Sherman Smith lost 100 pounds each with the help of Subway low-fat sandwiches and exercise.
Who's the only guy here that doesn't recognize us? Hey, Uncle Ernest. How'd you know my name? Those guys are too small. My nephews are big. For 7 months, we ate nothing but Subway.
7 tasty sandwiches under 6 grams of fat, like the turkey breast with honey mustard sauce on fresh baked bread.
Those guys are eating machines. They would destroy the picnic. Eat the tables, birds just fly, they'd try to get them too. We're your nephews.
Subway, eat fresh.
Back at Jacksonville, you see the temperature 86 degrees, but the heat index is a factor, 92%, high humidity. And that, of course, would weigh in favor of the home team, the Jaguars, who've been working in it since the last week in July. And there is their kickoff man, Seth Marler, ready to boot the ball. The Bills winning the toss, and they have back Antonio Brown and Sammy Morris. For the last 10 years, the Bills have been in the lower area of the NFL in kickoff returns. They're hoping Antonio Brown, who had some great returns in the preseason, can change that. Marler's into the ball. The game is underway. Here is Sammy Morris to the 15 and the 20, and Sammy's got it working across the 30 and the 40. And Sammy's not done till he's all the way out to midfield. So the Bills working well on special teams, Steve.
We spoke about it in the open, Don. Jacksonville gave up over 200 yards in returns last week, and that was a 54-yarder by Sammy Morris, as Drew Bledsoe and his offense are going to have great field position.
They are indeed. Actually, they'll start with the ball is spotted at the 49-yard line. Brown at the left guard for the Bills has been to 7 Pro Bowls. Reed is the guy they think has to step up. Only 1 catch for 5 yards last week. They need him, Bledsoe says, to make people respect his side of the field, so Moulds isn't getting double and triple teamed. Bledsoe with a deep drop on first down. Lets a long ball go to his tight end, and the ball is caught. A brilliant play by Mark Campbell, the former Cleveland Brown free agent, with an absolutely sensational play. Knew the hit was coming, caught the ball, hammered, and he held on for 27 yards.
Don, I can't believe he got up and walked off the field after this. That's a big hit laid on him there by Brad Franklin. And wow, that's a great way to start out. That's Rasheem Mathis, excuse me. But that was a great play by Buffalo, but a statement by the Jacksonville defense as well.
But Campbell held on. Now to the run. This is Travis Henry turning up and out, and he goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. As we look now at the Jaguars defense, which pitched a shutout for the first half at Carolina last week, had 4 sacks. Hugh Douglas, a very good pass rusher, first-year player. He's been to 3 straight Pro Bowls, the former Eagle. Mike Peterson, a new middle backer. He had 173 tackles last season for the Colts. And this is a guy that's going to get a lot of attention. Kraft, he gave up 2 touchdown passes, the right corner, Jason Kraft.
A lot of teams are finding it impossible to run up the middle on Stroud and Henderson, the 2 huge defensive tackles for Jacksonville.
It is 2nd down and 6. The pitch back goes. And Henry is swept under by this big physical defense. Last week, Travis ran a lot, as you know, Steve, and didn't get a lot of yards. But the Bills want to pound it out, and they want to sustain offense. They want to keep that defense on the field, and that, too, is the game plan of the Jaguars. That's where the heat comes into effect.
Well, one of the things a year ago, the Buffalo Bills found themselves throwing the football a lot, much more than they wanted to, and this year they've made a concerted effort to be more balanced. They want to be more patient with their run game. On first down, they ran it. On second down, they ran it. But now they've got a 3rd and 7.
Sammy Morris comes in the backfield next to Bledsoe. 3rd down and 7 it is. Bledsoe standing in, gets some time, a throw and a catch. And the ball is taken by Josh Reed, the guy the Bills were looking to step up today. His first catch was good for 8 yards and a 1st down.
A week ago, Josh Reed came in and had his first start as the number 2 receiver for the Buffalo Bills, and he had 3 drops, dropped a long touchdown pass, and to a man, Don, on both sides of the football, when we met with the Buffalo Bills yesterday, they all mentioned Josh Reed.
Everybody.
They need him to step up.
As Bledsoe put it, he's got to make him respect his side of the field. Now the Bills go with a power set. 1 wide out. 1st down and 10 from just outside the 11. Travis Henry turning it up inside the 10, works it down inside the 5-yard line. So the Bills working behind their huge right tackle, Mike Williams. Get down inside, and it'll be very close to a 1st down.
It is possible for the Bills to get a 1st down here, but they're going to come up a little short. And you're right, Don, when you talk about the Bills' offensive line, you start with their tackles. And Mike Williams, who was the number 1 pick a year ago, he is enormous. There's just no other way to describe him. The guy is huge, and Greg Williams wants to get more production out of their run game this year using those huge offensive linemen as just a bulldozer.
Well, he can bulldoze at 370 pounds listed. It might be more. And up again. Henry cuts back, heading towards the end zone. He's down close. Is he in? If he's not in, he's got a 1st down. Bills looking for a touchdown single. None forthcoming. Hugh Douglas gets him on the turf.
Don, watch as Travis Henry grabs his, but watch how fast he makes his decision. He gets the football from Bledsoe, bang, right up the middle. The blocking scheme is to the outside. But one thing you learn very early in football, when the guys that has his hands on the football decide to do something, don't second guess him. And Travis Henry, what a cut right up. He almost lost it on the way into the end zone, but what a cut right up inside.
Well, his strength, as you know, Steve, is his ability to break tackles, to get yards after contact. 1st and goal. You've got to watch fumbles down here. They'll be going after the ball. Here is Henry, and he is in. And the Bills take the opening kickoff. 54 yards back by Morris, and then they work the ball down the field. The most spectacular play, the absolutely brilliant catch by tight end Mark Campbell. And now the Bills are on the payoff end of a short run and a 6-0 lead.
Well, it doesn't look like the Bills have missed a beat. They came out firing on all cylinders a week ago, scored on their opening drive, and they've done it again here today. A 7-play, 49-yard drive started with a fantastic kick return by Sammy Morris and got ignited by that guy right there. What a sensational catch on the first play from scrimmage.
Now the extra point is hit up and good by Ryan Lindell. Last week, the Bills went 80 yards on the opening drive for a touchdown, went 90 yards on the 2nd drive for a touchdown. So they're moving fast. Welcome back to Jacksonville, Alltel Stadium. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. In the background is the tight end, Mark Campbell, who made that absolutely phenomenal catch. That's one of the best catches I think I've ever seen when you consider what the hit he took.
He knew he was going to get labeled, and he did, but he caught onto the football after tipping it to himself with one hand on the first play from scrimmage. Tough catch. You won't see a better catch than that by anybody all year in the NFL.
One of the best I've ever seen. Here's the kickoff. Jermaine Lewis, a 2-time Pro Bowl player, is a kick returner. Watch him. And Lewis gets out across to the 30-yard line, and the Bills cut him down there. And the Jaguars are ready to go on offense. Joe Burns was the tackler. As we look at Mark Brunell, who had a very, very good day, a 3-time Pro Bowl player, very good opening day, but not enough to win. At one point, he hit 13 straight passes. Manawai, a new player at left guard in an offensive line that they think is underrated. In the backfield, the great runner, Fred Taylor, healthy. And he's a guy that can go the distance anytime he gets the ball. The Bills' #1 priority is stopping Fred Taylor. First and 10. This is Taylor. And Taylor working hard, but he does get a 2 or 3, and big Pat Williams sheds the block, 93, and makes the stop. As we look now at the Bills on defense. Sam Adams, what a day he had. A 37-yard interception return for a touchdown and a sack to KO Spikes. A phenomenal day with 2 interceptions. And they say Malloy, Steve, means as much with his attitude as he does with his play on the field. He energizes a whole team. The new Bill, Lawyer Malloy. Here is the throw to the near flat, and a beautiful open field tackle. Antoine Winfield, an undersized corner who is one of the best tacklers at his position.
Well, they caught us off guard. We ran the lineups through, and they were going no huddle. We ran it through quick, and the Jaguars got that play off very fast and threw it out to Fred Taylor, hoping he'd break a tackle. But Nate Clemens, who is an excellent physical corner for the Bills, read it, came up and made a sure tackle. And that's one thing, Don, if your defense is going to be good, the first guy to the ball makes the tackle.
Well, the first guy to the ball, Antoine Winfield, made a tackle for a 5-yard loss. Now Burnell with the left hand throws in the flat, makes a connection, and the Jaguars work it very close to a first down to Jermaine Lewis. Malloy knocks him out of bounds, and he's going to be spotted short of the first down by about 1.5 yards. So the Jaguars are sending out their punt team.
Lawyer Malloy got a lot of attention, rightfully so. It was a rare set of circumstances that brought him to Buffalo in the manner in which he arrived. A late cut by Bill Belichick of the Patriots. 4 out of 5 years he's been in the Pro Bowl, and all of a sudden he's playing for another team on opening day. What a surprise, and what a contribution he made.
A tremendous contribution. Chris Hansen, a 2-time Pro Bowl punter. He was to the last Pro Bowl. Left foots the ball. Antonio Brown is back. Takes the ball at his 14-yard line. Maybe the fastest Bill. He turns the corner, and again the Jaguars have problems making tackles on special teams, as the Bills have had a significant kickoff return to start the game, and the boos start to roll down as they can't make a tackle until after a big game on a punt coverage.
2 weeks. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC. KFC's popcorn chicken is back, and it's bigger and better than ever. Get some today. T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. And by Budweiser.
Welcome back to Alltel Stadium. The Bills with a 7-0 lead after that opening drive, and now they go on offense again after a Jacksonville punt. 4 wide receivers set. Bledsoe from the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Penalty markers down. Throwing a catch. Josh Reed gets another one. And he's out ahead for a first down if the play goes. He's out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 17 yards on the play.
This is going to go against Buffalo. And that was a problem they had a week ago. Penalties.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 81. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well done. That was on Bobby Shaw, a former Jaguar. And there you see roaming the sidelines is an old guy I used to play against, Bill Bates, who's the special teams coach at Jacksonville. After that 18-yard punt return, and you see there the problems they had last week. They've already given up 70 yards in returns on 2 kicks. And I'll tell you, Don, he's finding out what a lot of great players do. It's tougher to coach guys to be great than to be great himself.
Well, he told you a sad story. I heard some of it Friday at practice. All the guys who were hurt, and this went wrong and that went wrong. But I'll tell you what, there are reasons, but there's no excuses in this league. Bledsoe takes a look, throws to an open receiver. That's Josh Reed out to midfield. And on a first down and long play, he drills the ball over the middle for a 23-yard gain. So actually, the Donovan Darius comes up and makes the play, and as Coleman is going to be credited for the tackle. Clarence Coleman.
Very quickly, you're going to start to see Jacksonville bring extra people to put pressure on Drew Bledsoe, because if you let him stand back there like he is with 4 wide receivers in the route, you're going to lose, and Jacksonville is going to figure that out.
They were working Coleman a lot in the pregame warm-ups, getting a lot of balls thrown to him, and now the run, and it's the tackle breaker. Travis Henry working hard. Mike Peterson, the middle linebacker, gets him down. But the Bills again in very good field position on their second possession.
Watch here. This is Travis Henry coming in, and this is just a guy who is so compact and so strong. Watch the work up front. Reuben Brown pulls around, and picks up the linebacker there, Aiken Adele, gives Travis Henry a crease to jump into. It's so intricate up front. Those guys are so big, it's tough to find Travis Henry in the traffic.
Right now, Travis Henry's the lone back behind Bledsoe on the second down play. Marker's down, and so is Henry with a short gain to about the 43-yard line. John Henderson, one of the huge defensive tackles for the Jaguars. 6'7", 335,
Defense.
makes the stop.
Number 95, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Paul Spicer called for the penalty.
You know, Don, this Jaguar defense up front with Paul Spicer.
Second down.
With Paul Spicer and Tony Brackens, also Hugh Douglas. I mean, it's good. Those guys are all good. They're good pass rushers. They're good players. But this defense is only going to be as good as those two young defensive tackles, Henderson and Stroud. It all starts with them. And sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're invisible. And when they're invisible, this team has no chance.
Jack Del Rio, who's played as recently as 95 in the league as a linebacker. He was the defensive coordinator of Carolina last year. Second down and less than a yard for the Bills. Henry up the middle. First down and more as he works his way down to the 36-yard line. Again, Henderson gets him. Last week, the Bills build a 21-0 first-half lead on the Patriots. And really, Steve, never looked back after that opening touchdown drive.
Well, and then they got some help from those defenders we talked about. Sam Adams, the 300 and whatever pound defensive tackle, running in with an interception return. The defense made so many big plays, and the Patriots were playing so desperate, it just got out of hand very quickly, and the Bills never looked back. And they still haven't.
And Travis Henry's already scored 3 touchdowns this season, 1 today, 2 last week. Here's Bledsoe, open receiver. He gets the ball to the great Eric Moulds, who's down to the 27-yard line, and a marker comes in late. 9-yard gain. Keith Mitchell makes the tackle. Might have been a late hit.
One of the things you can watch for, if Buffalo's offense is working, if Buffalo's offense works like it's supposed to, every guy on the offense who's eligible will be catching a pass. You've seen the tight end catch a pass already, Josh Reed. The only guy who hasn't caught one now is Bobby Shaw, who had a good day last week.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 33, the down counts, second down.
Sam Gass, which can be a drive killer, a personal foul.
Yeah, that was post after the play, so that the play counted and they backed it up, so now it's second down and about 15 after that personal foul. You never want to do that as a player, not after the play is over.
That's a good trick Sam pulled on, going to the Pro Bowl with no carries.
Nobody's ever done it before. It's a great season he had, and he's a huge asset to this offense, and I think he's an indication of what they want to do.
Here's Bledsoe on 2nd and 16, lofts the ball down to Moulds, and Moulds has it inside the 20-yard line. Another phenomenal throw-catch combination by the Buffalo Bills, as Brad Franklin was beaten for a 27-yard gain.
Well, if you're going to leave Brad Franklin ISO'd one-on-one with Eric Moulds, he's going to have to play better than that. He was totally outmatched, and you could tell he had his head ducked. He was just trying to stay close to Eric Moulds. He didn't care where the football was. Just don't let him get wide open. And when that's the case, Eric Moulds, and the people in Buffalo have seen him climb over the back of a lot of defensive backs and pull it right off their head, and he did there.
For 27 yards, Bledsoe now 5 for 5 throwing the ball for 97 yards. Bledsoe again takes a look, gets some time, fires an out pass, and it's incomplete. And the question even the Bills are asking, Steve, is are they really as good as they looked last week off the opening show here today? Maybe they're better.
Well, there's no reason to think they're not yet. They're into their second game, most of the way through the first quarter of their second game, and they haven't even taken a breath.
Tremendous offense. Kevin Gilbride now in his second year as the offensive coordinator of the Bills. He spent 2 years as Jacksonville's offensive coordinator when they were a playoff team, so he knows Brunell very well. There is Kevin Gilbride, a tremendous tactician and coach. 2nd and 10, they go to a draw play, and there's a penalty marker fired. It's a pre-snap foul, so the play is blown dead.
Another penalty on Buffalo.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Jennings.
You know, it's unusual, Don, to see an offense that's working as well as Buffalo's is and still get penalty after penalty. I mean, You know, you never see a team who's making so many yards, scoring so many points, have so many penalties. And yet, with Kevin Gilbride over them, he's calling a masterful game, but how many 2nd and 15s can you pick up?
Well, they're putting themselves in a hole, but they're still in position to score. One thing about Gilbride offense is every opponent will see plays that nobody's seen before. New stuff every week. Here's a throw over the middle. And another penalty marker is thrown in, and this one comes in just as the receiver comes down with the ball. Travis Henry was hit by Aiken Adele, a very physical linebacker, and a tremendous one. There's Adele, 51. Last week, he had 10 tackles, a sack, and an interception at Carolina.
Face mask. Defense.
First down.
Number 51. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
I think TJ
5-yard penalty.
I think TJ Slaughter, the linebacker, is staying down on the field. The linebacker for the Jaguars, and I believe that's his number. We'll double check when we come back.
A lesser degree of the face mask penalty. There's 5, 10, and 15 yarders. That was a 5-yarder, so it'll be 2nd down for the Bills when we come back.
Bad idea.
Linebacker, starting linebacker Keith Mitchell hurt on the last play and is still being looked at. He's been down for 5 minutes.
Actually, he was hit like a lot of defenders are by his own player trying to help on a tackle right here. And you'll watch here as Aiken Adele hits Henry first, and then Mitchell just comes in trying to clean up. And you can see there, as soon as he hits, he kind of goes down very limp, and he has not moved very much. And he kind of let in there with his head. You saw that. And Don, that's what happens. I mean, the injuries that scare you are the ones when the guy goes down and he doesn't move.
Well, they talk about not using the helmet. He clearly came in and hit with his helmet.
He sure did.
So the clock is stopped with 5:39 to play in the first quarter. The Bills leading 7-0 as Keith Mitchell was attended to. He came here from the Houston Texans this year. Prior to that, he was 5 years with New Orleans, a 7-year backer out of Texas A&M. So unfortunately, Keith Mitchell has to be taken off on a stretcher.
He's a teammate of the Bills free agent acquisition from the Texans, Jeff Posey. Those two guys were in the linebacking core together a year ago in Houston. And you can see there, and I know this looks very serious, but take this into heart that they are very cautious, given the climate in the NFL, of being very overly cautious when they take a guy off the field. This may be unnecessary. We hope that it's very unnecessary that they're doing this, but it's a precaution that they're going to do every time, and there's no reason not to. I mean, I know it's not very pretty to see, and it's a little scary, especially for his family and friends who are watching in the stands or at home. But they do that to be extra cautious. We've seen him move his hands and his fingers and his extremities. So hopefully this is an
just an ultimate precaution.
An ultimate precaution, exactly.
And Jack Del Rio, who's seen a lot go wrong with his team last week, they dominated the first half at Carolina, built a 17-0 lead, made the Panthers punt every time they had the ball. I think the Panthers had 1 first down against Jacksonville in the first half last week.
2 things happened in that game for Jacksonville, Don. One is their defense pitched a shutout against Rodney Peete when he was the quarterback, and Mark Brunell got off to a lightning fast start. And then another thing happened. Their special teams betrayed them, and Carolina switched quarterbacks, and that was it. The game turned from there.
Yeah, they put Jake Delhomme in. He came in and threw 3 second-half touchdowns. But they had a substantial lead, a 5-point lead with, I think, 2:38 left to play. And then lost the game. So Jack Del Rio, coaching his first game as a head coach in the NFL, a former linebacker. He talks about the 24-hour rule, win or lose. You put it all behind you after 24 hours and move on to the next opponent. As Keith Mitchell's attended to, there's a pause here on the field.
Hey, just put these clothes in the truck.
This is Donovan Darius of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Donovan helps the United Way build stronger communities by participating in programs that provide support for families.
All right, so we're taking this to 31 State Street, right? Right. You got it?
I got it.
What?
31 State Street. I got it.
Keith Mitchell coming off the field. He was moving. He's just apparently knocked himself out with that hellacious hit he put on. And the ball will be positioned as play resumes at the 11-yard line of the Jaguars. Bills with the ball in a 7-0 lead, driving again. Bledsoe at quarterback. Bledsoe had an interesting comment during the week. People asked him about this Bills team. He said, in all honesty, I think we can beat anybody.
Well, you never know how good you are, Don, until you get late in the season. If you can beat a playoff team on the road late in the year, then there's no doubt. But it's too early to know about anybody in the league at this point of the season.
But early returns are good for the Bills. Here's a throw to an open receiver. That's Mark Campbell again, who made that phenomenal catch in the opening touchdown drive. And that's good for a gain of 4 yards as Jason Kraft gets him down. See where they spot the ball. It'll be somewhere around the 6-yard line, and that'll bring up a 3rd and a long 2.
And this is the area of the field where I think Kevin Gilbride and this offense are at their best. He's a brilliant play caller. You got to call something that your team does well, but that your opponents don't expect, and Gilbride seems to have that now.
Last week he went to the tight end down here, Dave Moore. Here is Travis Henry. He's heading in. Touchdown Bills. So just like a week ago, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns to open the game for the Bills as they extend their lead now to 13-0.
And on this play, this is Kevin Gilbride just giving the football to a guy who's tough to see. Watch as they form a pocket, and Travis Henry will just pick his spot. He'll step back, watch where the big tackles go, then bounce it to the outside. There's nobody blocking out there. He's just outrunning some people. Guys trying to get up to the line of scrimmage to fit in the run defense, and they're just too late.
Now the extra point by Ryan Lindell. Hit up and good. And the Bills extend their lead to 14-0. We'll be back to Alltel Stadium with the Bills kickoff in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It's in the NFL. Is it in you? And by HP. Technology, services, and people help make more things more possible.
We're back to Alltel Stadium where, just as he did a week ago, Travis Henry scored on the first 2 possessions for the Bills. Done it again today. 4 touchdowns already. So he'll be heading back to the Pro Bowl in all probability. He went to his first one last February.
And there are a lot of people very happy they started Travis Henry today on their fantasy football teams.
Man. 5 quarters into the into the season, he's got 4 touchdowns. Here's a kickoff to Jermaine Lewis. Carries short. He's across the 30 and gets out to the 35-yard line, giving Brunell a relatively good field position. So the Jaguars will try again, but already they're deep in a hole, down 14-0.
In my dream, I'm in a museum.
After the games, log on to NFL.com and watch video highlights of your personal fantasy team. Get it exclusively at NFL.com or on America Online. Enter keyword NFL.com. Jaguars try again. Fred Taylor trying to cut back. A terrific cutback runner. And a very interesting history, as you know, Steve, of Fred Taylor and the Buffalo Bills. In '98, the Bills traded their #1 pick in the draft to Jacksonville for a quarterback named Rob Johnson. The Jaguars turned the #1 pick into Fred Taylor.
And a lot of people in Buffalo rolling their eyes over that one.
Right now, Taylor is non-productive against a very aggressive Bills defensive front. 2nd down and 10. Brunell cocks the left hand, fires a strike. Beautifully caught. Contact made. And the spot is going to be across the 45-yard line. It's a 1st down for the Jaguars to Matthew Hatchett.
One of the things about Jaguars and their offense, it all starts with Mark Brunell. But the question mark are these young receivers, Hatchett, and then, of course, J.J. Stokes. These 2 guys, in the absence of Jimmy Smith, have got to pick up the load and carry it. Mark Brunell will put it wherever they can get open. But can they get open? That's been the question mark. Brunell had a great day opening day, but in the second half, everybody evaporated and he had no options.
He completed 18 of his first 19 passes last week, 13 in a row. Now he gets a connection. And it goes to J.J. Stokes, number 83, the former 49er. And he's on the Buffalo side of the field at the 48-yard line.
You know, you talk about what the Jaguars are missing. This is it. Jimmy Smith, who's serving a 4-game suspension, 19th in NFL history. 127 games. He led the team in receptions. He's only one of 3 players in history with 2 different 110-catch seasons. That guy can play, and they miss him desperately.
4-game suspension for violation of the league's drug substance abuse policy. And now a sack of Brunell back inside the 45-yard line. And Ryan Denny, a second-year defensive end, a huge player at 6'7". He comes through for a sack that results in a 6-yard loss.
Ryan Denny was a guy who a lot of people were a little bit questionable of last year. He was inactive for half the year, but in the second half of last year, all through the season, nobody on the Bills roster worked harder and got more improvement out of himself than Ryan Denny, and he earned a starting spot in this year's defense, a much improved defense, and that says as much about him as anything.
As does the sack. Ryan Denny with the game's first sack. On 3rd down, Brunell throws a screen pass, and the Bills have it diagnosed. Beautifully done by Antoine Winfield, who knocks it down for no gain. So the Jaguars, hearing boos, have to punt again.
Antoine Winfield was coming on a corner blitz off the slot, and he saw all the pressure come, and he stopped. He knew that there was a reason the pass rush was so good. Watch, right there, he stopped and recognized the screen pass in the middle of his blitz and stuffed the play.
That brings up a punt as the ball is hit downfield. Antonio Brown loses the ball inside the 15, picks it up, and very quickly works the sideline and gets out to about the 22-yard line. Antonio Brown had a great preseason, had punt returns of 87 and 75 yards for touchdowns. That's how he made the team as a free agent. 2 brothers, 1 kid, no grown-ups. That's coming up later on CBS, but we also remind you that The Handler with Joe Pantoliano. If things don't go right, they call The Handler.
And here the Buffalo Bills offense is again, Don. I think one of the things you remember about this team, when you get out there after you've had a good start, you get out and you stand in that huddle and look around, and you can't get enough. You want to be on the field all day, whether it's 110 or 10.
First down and 10 for the Bills. Opening 2 possessions resulting in touchdowns by this man, Travis Henry. Travis Henry in deep trouble, and he's knocked down all the way back inside the 15-yard line. So the more he tried to work his way free, Steve, the deeper he got into it, and he ends up with a loss of 9 yards.
Well, this was a broken play from the get-go. Watch Drew Bledsoe. He's looking out to his right behind him. Travis Henry comes to his left. The play was broken, but before it got started, Henry was late getting to the point of attack. And then you get a 9-yard loss with your quarterback in his own backfield trying to throw blocks. Not good.
So that kind of ignites the crowd here as they start to pump it up. The first time in the 9-year history of the Jaguars that their home opener wasn't sold out in time for the blackout to be lifted. Bledsoe throws a strike, gets some of the lost yardage back, but it's going to bring up 3rd and about 11. Josh Reed makes another catch. Mike Peterson is on the stop.
Well, the Bills have stung the Jaguars for a couple of long plays, most of their tight ends, and I think at this point Kevin Gilbride said, you know what, it's 2nd and 19. Let's try and get half of it back, and that's exactly what they did. Now 3rd and 10 is a more manageable down. A good, quick 5-step drop. You can still pick it up. Kevin Gilbride still continues to impress a lot of people with his ability to manage a game on the sidelines.
He's got Bledsoe managing a game nicely. 8 of 9 throwing the ball for 113 yards. Now a timeout is called for. It looks like the Jaguars are big signal taking the timeout. So we'll be coming back to Alltel Stadium with a long yardage play coming up for the Bills, who lead it 14-0.
This fall,
you need to address the overpopulation of deer.
We're
on the deer problem.
Welcome to Poland, New Hampshire.
I will not duct tape your buttocks to give it tone and shape.
A place.
What the hell did you do to your
Look, I've been doing squats, okay?
Just a few miles from normal.
You know you got a picture of SpongeBob on your head?
Randy Quaid.
Hank and I never have sex.
I read where Viagra works for women, too. Give us some of that.
The Brotherhood, Poland, New Hampshire. Premiering CBS Wednesday, September 24th.
Don Criqui with Steve Tasker back at Alltel Stadium. Heat will be a factor. A very, I think, remarkable, Steve, statistic. Teams that start out 2-0 in the NFL season make the playoffs 61% of the time. Teams that start out 0-2 make the playoffs 15% of the time. 85% against if you lose your first two. Throw and a catch by Reed for a first down. I don't know how Bledsoe did that. He took a shot, and that strong arm has got the ball where it had to be.
Well, his arm could have been a little stronger on that as Josh Reed working against Brad Franklin once again. Bledsoe let that go as a deliberate throw behind, and Josh Reed was waiting, and finally the ball got there just in time.
Just in time indeed for 15 yards and a first down, and that is the end of the first quarter with the score. The Bills 14 and the Jaguars nothing. We'll return to Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville after these messages.
Lemonade this second.
Welcome back to Jacksonville, where the Bills are in command. Now the Bills with Drew Bledsoe playing brilliantly at quarterback. Opening the second quarter. Bledsoe play faking, lets it go long, and it's going to do it. Josh Reed again, wide open. That was his nemesis last week. Second down coming up as Reed has got him beat by 5 yards.
This is a ball that's just underthrown by a hair. Watch here, and that's just tipped by the defender. And Josh Reed, this is what happened last week. He had it open. He had a long touchdown to catch and just couldn't get it done. And that was really the story of his whole game a week ago.
Exactly, Steve. That's not Josh. That is a great defensive play, but Josh has had a couple of good catches in this game. Josh Reed. Here's a pitch back. The Bills work the run, and the stout defense of the Jaguars is there to stop it. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. Interesting opening numbers. The Bills right now have almost 10 times as much yardage as the Jaguars, and of course 14 more points. A lot of mo.
I've never seen a team carry such a large opening win in week 1 over to week 2, and it's on both sides of the football. Their defense is playing inspired still after 5 quarters into this season, and their offense has done nothing but be productive. You really wonder how long this is going to last. If they peak too soon in week 2, I mean, it's a long season, and I'm telling you what, it's a long way to go. But if they can play like this all season, they're going to be a handful for 17 weeks.
A handful right now. Here is Bledsoe cocking his arm, making a throw, and look at the catch as he eases the ball over to Bobby Shaw, who made the former Jaguar. I thought of all the big plays the Bills had last week, looking at the tape, Steve, that sensational catch on 3rd and 7 in the opening drive against New England really set the tone.
That was indicative of their entire team because everybody contributed. The defense, big plays. They had 4 interceptions, and the offense, Bobby Shaw stepped up and really made crucial catches at crucial times in the absence of Josh Reed. And the former Jaguar getting it done here today. And here's a fake punt.
Bills coming up under center. And they're going to go to the run, and they're not going to get there, so the Jaguars will take over the ball at the 44-yard line. They went to Sammy Morris. Sammy getting under center as a quarterback. Usually, Steve, you see teams just wait it out, hope somebody will jump offside. Not the case. They ran the play, it didn't work. Sometimes games can change on things like that.
Third.
This is the fake punt that happened a moment ago. Brian Moorman will come up. Sammy Morris will take the quarterback slot, and they'll split everybody out. And the problem with running a fake at this point, you don't know how the defense is going to line up. In this case, the Jaguars are all over it. They have as many defenders as the Bills have offensive players, and they stuff it in the backfield.
Now the first down to live action, and Brunell does well to get the ball away, and he hits it for plus yards. He gets it to his fullback, Mark Edwards, as Brunell was almost sacked again. He gets it ahead for a 5-yard gain. Jeff Posey put the heat on.
I really disagree with that fake punt call. If you're going to go for it, Don, go for it. You have no idea if the Jaguars are going to be prepared for that or not. It's a crucial time, and your offense is clicking. Your run game's going. If you're going to go for it, leave the best guys out there. If you're going to run for the first down, leave Travis Henry on the field. Don't give it to a guy. Let your punter out there in some strange formation you don't know how they'll react to.
You don't want Sammy Morris at quarterback usually. Fred Taylor runs. They've pretty much shut him down. Objective number one of the Bills defenders. It's really not only has great new personnel and those new starters you talked about, Steve, but bringing Dick LeBeau in was a tremendous upgrade. Just adding to the defense that ranked 29th in the league last year.
Well, a number of Buffalo Bills have told me that they could tell even from the offseason minicamps that the coaching staff that Greg Williams has assembled is hugely upgraded in this season. And when your players can tell that in minicamp, you know the results are going to be there in the regular season.
Well, the Bills were 29th against the run today. Taylor has only 6 yards and 3 runs. Here's a long ball downfield. Bills have it defended, and it's almost picked off. As again, it's Antoine Winfield who's made 3 terrific plays today. Tackle for a loss, another tackle for a breakup. And now he breaks the ball up, and its intended receiver, Matthew Hatchett, can't come down with it.
Hatchett coming on the out and up, and Winfield, and you love to see that as a fan, to see your defensive back playing the football just like the receiver. And in this case, he had better position. Antoine Winfield's having a sensational day at corner, and the Jaguars are going for it.
4th down. They need 2. Brunell, a good runner, told us
he hates to run. He's been hurt a lot.
Here he goes to Fred Taylor, and he drives ahead. Power blocking from the left side. And Fred Taylor takes it ahead on 4th down for a 1st down.
Well, if you're going to go for it on 4th down, Don, this is how you go for it. Give it to your best guy and let him run. All he has to do is, even if you meet him in the hole, he's going to push the guy across the line. And the thing that is lost in all of that, the offense has the advantage. They know the snap count. Get up, snap it before the defense can get set. You're always going to have the advantage. I think if you're going to go for it, do it the way the Jaguars did.
See those total offense numbers, and now the Jaguars go to the run. Fred Taylor inside the 20, heading towards the end zone. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. That is what Fred Taylor's all about. You think you got him, 28 yards later, you finally get him out of bounds with 1st and goal.
When Fred Taylor is on the football field, usually he's one of the fastest guys out there. And when he turns this and cuts loose, watch the angle, and he turns it on. He outruns the angle on 2 guys, and finally they're able to get him at the 2-yard line. And it all stems back to a special teams play that Jacksonville prepared for and played expertly.
Bills went for it on 4th down, didn't get there. Now the Jaguars looking to get back in the game. 1st and goal. Taylor. He's close, but he's not in. It'll be 2nd down and goal from about the 1. Brandon Tofield and Fred Taylor working in the backfield as they get it down close.
You know, right now the Buffalo Bills are looking around at their defenders and saying, you know what, this will be the first touchdown we've given up. We can't let it happen. Lawyer Malloy, Sam Adams, Takeo Spikes, don't think that they don't know the magnitude of this touchdown. Not only will it get the Jaguars back in it, it'll be the first one they've given up all year.
Well, last year, as you know, Steve, the Bills gave up 397 points. That ranked 27th in the NFL. They've not given up a score yet. Now Brunell throwing to the end zone, and it is broken up. Well defense by the Bills. A big rush by Aaron Schobel, the sack leader for the Bills a year ago, putting the heat on, and all Brunell had left to go to was his outlet receiver, Mark Edwards, the fullback, and he wasn't near the ball.
Well, one of the things that the Jaguars are finding out about this team, this defense they're playing, is the Buffalo Bills are fast all over the football field. Aaron Schobel chasing down Mark Brunell out of the pocket. Brunell is not used to having defensive ends keep up with him, let alone close, and it gave him some desperation, made that throw errant.
Watch out for Fred Taylor going right. Now they bring the blocker left. Fred Taylor follows him, and Fred Taylor doesn't get there as he's thrown back. Now do the Jaguars go for it on 4th down? A yard and a half from the end zone of the Bills.
Yes, they do.
No, 14-0.
Absolutely no doubt on the sideline of the Jaguars. Nobody moved a muscle. They told them on 3rd down they're going for it. Nobody's moving over there. And Mark Brunell will huddle up. Jack Del Rio, no question in his mind, they're going for it.
Biggest down of the day for the Bills defense so far.
This is exactly what I would do if I was Jack Del Rio. You got to go for it. If you don't get it, the Bills have 99 yards to go, and your defense has a head start. Perfect time to go for it.
And a perfect time Brunell feels to call a timeout and talk this over. We'll be back in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the next Ford F-150. DirecTV, movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment. And by Miller Lite. Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
We're back and ready for a fourth down try. Don Shula once said that nothing changes the momentum of a game like a goal line stand. That's Shula, who won more games than any coach in NFL history. With the Bills now with a 14-0 lead, looking to stop a fourth down try.
Quarterback draw.
He spreads the field, Brunell, and he is a good runner, even though he told us he hates to run it. That's the call, Steve. He's over the top and he's in. Great call. That was it, Steve, over the top on a quarterback draw, and the fourth down try of the Bills, this errant-looking play with Sammy Morris at quarterback, really blows up on him.
That was got Jacksonville back in it. Jacksonville's offense is too good to give them midfield field position on a fake kick. And watch this, he spreads everybody out, and what he has to do, he'll step back, let the play develop, and then pick his spot and go over the top. Pat Williams can't get there.
Extra point is hit up and good by Marler. Oh, that is a 9-play, 44-yard drive. The key play, the 28-yard run by number 28, Fred Taylor. Then Brunell on the payoff end from a yard out.
Watch as Jeff Posey comes out. He'll have a chance to get Brunell, but he's so worried about Brunell going wide because of his speed, he can't knife in with any confidence, and Brunell just picks his spot and gets the nose in for the touchdown.
And now the Jaguars, with their first touchdown of the day, are ready to kick off. The ball is boomed downfield by Marler. Antonio Brown from the goal line. 10, wedge forms. And he gets to the 19-yard line. Outstanding special teams play there, as Jimmy Redmond, who has just activated, comes down to make the tackle. Has your Fantasy Football League manager let you down? Well, it's not too late to switch to Fantasy Football Commissioner on CBS Sportsline. Just click on Fantasy Football at CBSSportsline.com, or on America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Here's one of your favorites, Steve.
Uh-oh.
Re-kicking.
That is the death knell for the Jaguars special teams. You never want to cover 2 kicks in a row. Never. It's like 205 degrees on the field, and you're going to run a 75-yard sprint into a car wreck and then go do it again. Look for a long return from the Buffalo Bills after this. I hated it as a special team, and there's Bill Bates. He knows it too. Don't kid yourself. He had to cover kicks twice too, and I'm telling you, Don, it is zero fun.
Well, let's see now. You're hitting pretty high average here. You had the quarterback draw. Now see if we get the big return from the Bills. Marler's set back to his 25-yard line.
Always make him kick it again. Never take the ball. Make him kick it again.
Sammy Morris back with him. Here's a high spinning kick, and Sammy's going to take this one at the 11. Brown comes up as a blocker. Morris turns the corner and gets out across the 30-yard line, so they do get about at least 12 or 13 yards more than the previous play. Rashean Mathis, a rookie, starting at free safety and also playing on special teams, makes the tackle.
And I'll tell you what, you see a lot of guys walking off the field after that. 2 kickoffs in a row, Don. I'm telling you, it used to scare me to death because I know it's just so hard to run 100% twice in a row and then come back and do it again. It's
particularly on a day like this with the heat index way up, way into the 90s. Both coaches feel that you have to sustain offense, run a lot of plays, keep the opposing defense out there to make the heat work for you. You can't rotate linemen. And now as the throw over the middle, it's incomplete, as it's not even close to the intended receiver, Josh Reed. It might have been tipped.
They got tipped right at the line of scrimmage, and the Buffalo Bills coming out on the first play of the series and throwing the football, just trying to get a little positive yardage, move the ball, and Kevin Gilbride once again calling plays into Drew Bledsoe's headset. And this is a guy that was perceived as a threat to Greg Williams' job when he was hired. And you know, all these new the coordinators, they're always the next guy on everybody's list to be a head coach. We'll see what happens with Kevin Gilbride.
Second down and 10, a handoff, and Travis Henry works his way into the line. And he's to the 35-yard line. John Henderson brings him down. The one really bad moment in the Bills season, which has been nothing but a highlight reel, was hitting Sammy Morris under center on a 4th down play and giving him the snap and having him try to run for a 4th down, first down. Ball turned over at their 44, and the Jaguars subsequently took it in to get back in the game. Bills were rolling 14-0. Now, as you see, they're up 14-7. And a big down coming up. This team can rush the passer.
This could be a turning point of the entire game, Don, if the Buffalo Bills don't get something going. The Jaguars are back in it.
Jaguars had 4 sacks last week. Bledsoe has time, nowhere to go. He fires the ball to the outside, but the receiver, Josh Reed, caught it out of bounds, and so the Bills have to punt.
Watch, here's Drew Bledsoe looking for somebody. You see there, this is what happens when a play breaks down. For the first time, the offensive players are reacting to the defensive players and not the other way around. It's when it really takes, your instinct takes over, and that's just backyard football.
And now it's a punt, a high snap, and a good job by Mormon as he line drives the ball down the field, but this will come back. Moving with the Jaguars is Jermaine Lewis, and tremendous special teams play. Looked like Coy Wire, 27, might have got there first. And it will be first down for the Jaguars when we come back to Jacksonville. 42-yard punt, 9-yard return.
Weeks. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Madden NFL 2004 and EA Sports with exclusive Playmaker control. And by Pizza Hut. Football and Pizza Hut, a winning combination. Gather round the good stuff.
We're back, and the Jaguars may have gained some momentum. They certainly have gained something on the scoreboard after the Bills abortive attempt on a 4th down play. And they take over the ball and take it in on a 44-yard drive. 28-yard run by Fred Taylor setting it up. Brunell on a quarterback straight ahead draw. Scores the first touchdown of the day for the Jaguars, and now he pitches to Taylor. And Taylor rips the Buffalo defense for a gain of about 7 yards.
Well, they're going to get a lot of this like they got the last time. This is the scoring drive for the Jaguars, and it was just as you saw a moment ago. A lot of Fred Taylor up the middle, barreling his way into the defense, and then breaking a tackle at the line of scrimmage and outrunning everybody to the corner to set up the touchdown. And then Mark Brunell on the quarterback draw paying it off. Fred Taylor and then Brunell, the two real big weapons for this Jaguar offense, getting it done for their first touchdown.
They've heard that gain good for about 7. So second down comes up now for Brunell. The left-hander at his best rolling out, moving to his left. He goes through his tight end, Brady. And again, a nice breakup. That was Lawyer Malloy, the guy that Greg Williams calls our attorney.
Yeah, and he has been a welcomed addition. I mean, this is a guy that stepped into the locker room and started calling guys out about laughing about getting run over in a film. And guys are chuckling in a meeting about, you know, bad things were happening on film. He said, hey, this is the pros. You don't do that. It's not funny. And that's day one. And you know what he's going to bring the rest of his career to the Bills.
Well, he's the 8 teams tried to get him. New England released him. He said he cannot believe the Buffalo fan base and the way the ovation he got when he was introduced before the New England game. He said he'll never get over that. Here is Brunell on the run. Open field, and Mark Brunell dives for a first down. Gaining 12 yards up the middle. For the guy who told us he hates to run, it used to be a staple of his game. And enough injuries have diminished that desire to run the ball, but when he has to, he can do it well.
Well, one of the things about Mark Brunell is his mobility, and what he does now usually is to back up. When he's in the passing mode, he just runs to buy time. In this case, he had no choice. Takeo Spikes was going to run him down, and Brunell still has enough left in those old legs to outrun Takeo Spikes for a nice gain and a first down.
Trying to make plays as you see the yardage in the second quarter now. Jacksonville doing well. Combination offense. Here is Fred Taylor turning wide. Turns the corner. He's 235 pounds with 4.38 speed. He is an extraordinary player when he's healthy. When he's out of the lineup, this team no longer exists on offense. He's that important.
And one of the things that about this Buffalo defense that these Jaguars are finding out is they can run sideline to sideline, but Fred Taylor still can turn that corner against anybody. Ryan Denny on the left side of the Bills defense couldn't get up the field and wide enough to stop him from turning the corner for a nice 6-yard gain on first down. You can run on first down and get 6 yards. You're in for a nice afternoon.
Well, he got 6 there. 2nd down and 4. Pitch. Well, a double reverse, and this is Jermaine Lewis, and the Bills sort it out. But Jermaine Lewis solves it, and he's ahead for a 1st down. So they go to trickery, and it works. A 6-yard gain. 3 different guys handle the ball after the snap. Greg Williams protesting something.
He doesn't like something that happened in the backfield, but this is why Jermaine Lewis is on the Jaguars. He's a great kick returner. If you can get him the ball with some open field, he can make people miss. And you see there, it's just like a kick return. Get outside, get up the field. And now he kind of limped off. He's having trouble getting off the field, and that's one of the problems that he had even in Baltimore when he was a great kick returner for them. He's only 5'9", weighs less than 180 pounds, and as you saw there, the collisions really take their toll on a small body.
Yeah, he's been having problems, I think, Steve, with that left leg. He limped off actually after the punt return earlier and came back. But they're so decimated at wide receiver. Their best wide receiver, as we mentioned, on a 4-game suspension, Jimmy Smith, missing the first 4 games of the season. Now on 1st down for Brunell and the Jaguars, down by 7. Heat a factor. Heat index in the 90s. And the Jaguars are used to it and starting to make plays, and now a penalty marker is fired in from way back.
One of the things that's happening to the Bills defense, especially at the point of attack, as you see there, a face mask call against the Bills. They're over pursuing the run game.
Face mask. Defense. Number 96. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
The linebackers are so fast, Takeo Spikes, London Fletcher, Jeff Posey, that when they sense that it's going to be a wide run, they're running wide too fast, too far, and the running back is stopping and turning up the field and finding. Watch as the linebackers, Fletcher goes out, he's going to run, and Jeff Posey and all the gang is all the way outside the numbers. The running back stops, cuts it right in behind them for a nice gain. That's over pursuit in the linebacking corps.
So now it is 1st down and 10. They go back, and this time the run goes to the rookie, LeBrandon Tofield, a 4th-round draft choice from LSU. A tackle breaker, a hard runner at 5'11", 235. A guy who has tremendous ability, but a history of injuries at LSU. But this heat is going to wear down, and the game plan of both coaches have the offense run a lot of plays, keep their defense out there, and right now that's what the Jaguars are doing.
Ever since that botched fake punt for the Buffalo Bills, the Jaguars, after that drive, got back in the football game, and now Fred Taylor and LeBrandon Tofield are back in the game. They can be patient with their run game and wear the Buffalo Bills defense down in the heat.
See the Jaguars with total control of time of possession this quarter. And the carry is ahead for a 1st down to the 25-yard line as Fred Taylor runs it.
Well, Fred Taylor just picking his way once again. The offensive line of the Jaguars spreading out laterally after the snap of the ball and letting Fred Taylor pick his spot. And Fred Taylor, when he turns his shoulders up, he gets there in an awful hurry.
First 3 carries for Taylor, 3 carries, 6 yards. Now he's 9 carries for 57 yards. Had a 28-yarder in the touchdown drive. This may be a 2nd touchdown drive. Brunell at his best, going left. He screens it back the other way. And a beautiful open field tackle on Kyle Brady for a loss of about 8 yards by Antoine Winfield. What a hitter, undersized corner. And there's a lot of speculation he might not be a Bill next year, Steve.
Well, this is a 5'9", 180-pound defensive back whacking a 6'6", 278-pound tight end and getting the better of him. That's why Antoine Winfield can start at cornerback in the National Football League.
But his contract's up after this season.
His contract is up, and believe me, this is the guy they would love to keep, but they're going to have a hard time doing it.
Now we have 2nd down and 17 coming up, so the Bills pass rushers will be teeing off. Brunell goes, Tofield running wide, and he's hit hard. Got about 2 or 3 yards. Good defense by the Bills. Takeo Spikes makes the stop, but as games turn on single play, certainly the botched 4th down play by the Bills turned it at that point. That hit by Antoine Winfield, knocking the huge tight end Brady down for an 8-yard loss.
And that really led to this series. That was the huge play in this series, because now the Bills are doing something they've never done. They've been tested as a defense thus far, and this is the first test. Can they get a stop on the Jaguars offense? It's 3rd and 15 after that great play by Winfield. this is a huge down for the Bills defense, because if they get any more, they're going to be field goal range.
We wind down to the 2-minute warning. Brunell from the shotgun on 3rd and long. Here comes the rush. Brunell fires a fastball, and it's incomplete. Brunell, a former Rose Bowl MVP, is a quarterback at Washington. A very strong arm. Too much pop on that. So it'll be a long yardage 4th down play when we come back at the 2-minute warning.
Mom?
23rd.
Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Dan, Deanna, and Boomer for all of today's scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Nextel halftime report. A 48-yard field goal attempt coming up by Seth Marler, the rookie kicker. He got the Lou Groza Award kicking for Tulane a year ago. Goes to the top kicker in college. Hit a 55-yarder in the preseason. But then last week, he had a 55-yard attempt blocked. And the Jaguars lost by a point to the Panthers after leading 17-0. Hanson, the holder, kick is on the way. He's got a lot in it. It's no good. Well, game's turning on big plays, and the big play in that sequence was without question the big hit by the little cornerback on the big tight end, Antoine Winfield, flattening Kyle Brady for an 8-yard loss.
Yeah, and another special teams play comes back to haunt the Jaguars. This is a kick that would put them close the gap to 4 points just before halftime, and kicking it wide right gives the Bills great field position with just under 2 minutes to play in the first half, and that is a lot of time for the Buffalo Bills to make something happen.
Greg Williams told us yesterday the key is to get off to a fast start and take their crowd out of the game. And our offense has to control the tempo of the game. In the second quarter, the tempo has been completely controlled by the Jaguars.
The Bills have 3 timeouts left.
Bledsoe stands in, throws an out pass, nicely caught. Is moving to the near sideline is Eric Moulds. When you look at every way you can measure a wide receiver, ability to catch the ball, ability to run after the catch, to break tackles, to block, to flatten people, really, you think nobody is equal?
No, I don't. I think he's the best guy in the National Football League. I think he plays with an air of aggression about him that nobody else has. And defensive backs know they have got a handful when they play him, and they're begging for help out there.
Coming off a career year, Moulds caught 100 passes for the Bills last season. Went to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl. Bledsoe, open receiver, and the ball is caught inside the 20, inside the 10, and heading down and in is the former Jaguar Bobby Shaw. So the hit by Antoine Winfield that really stopped that drive leads to this, a 55-yard touchdown pass. And the Jaguars, threatening to close it up and tie it up, now find themselves down 20-7 with the extra point coming up.
A missed field goal turns into a touchdown the other way, a 10-point swing, and this is a strike by Drew Bledsoe. Bobby Shaw looks like he's running through the middle of a pasture by himself. Great play call and great execution. Great call by Kevin Gilbride, and the Buffalo Bills offense answers just before halftime.
But still, Steve, a minute 37 left to play in the half as Lindell hits the extra point up and good. Drew Bledsoe has hit for a touchdown throw in 15 of his 18 games as a Buffalo Bill.
Drew Bledsoe is so calm and cool. Watch as he steps up, avoids the rush to his left, keeps his eyes down the field, and lays this ball out there right in the breadbasket of Bobby Shaw. And Bobby Shaw can't believe it. You saw him catch the ball, tuck it, and look both directions. He's like, well, where is everybody? And he runs into the end zone, and Bledsoe knows that, that doesn't happen. And Bobby Shaw enjoying the fact that he suffered through a season here a year ago, a losing 6-10 season with the Jaguars, and loving where he's at right now.
Bobby was caught 44 passes for the Jaguars last season. He also a very good kick returner. There they are. Winners tell jokes, losers say deal. Bledsoe and Shaw, happy guys.
Well, what we thought they were going to need a couple of timeouts and all the time on the clock to score, I guess not.
It's interesting. We talked to the Bills, Steve, almost to a man. They said that ovation that the sold-out Ralph Wilson Stadium gave Lawyer Malloy in his introduction, said when they looked over at the Patriots, it was almost like somebody whacked them in the stomach.
It really was, and that it made a big difference. The fans loved it. The Buffalo Bills loved it. The Patriots hated it, and they never recovered. And in hindsight, obviously you can say this, but in hindsight, the game was over before it was even kicked off.
Now to kick off is Lindell. Gets the ball downfield, and coming up is Jimmy Redmond, who's just been activated for a special teams play, and he gets to the 33-yard line. So Mark Brunell, who had a quarterback rating of over 130 last week, will have a minute and a half to work with before halftime. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Dan, Deanne, and Boomer for all of today's scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Nextel halftime report. We're having a track meet at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs and the Steelers with 48 points on the board so far, and they're only in the second quarter.
Baltimore winning over Cleveland at home, 13-3.
We're now told that Jermaine Lewis will not be back, sprained knee. We're told that Keith Mitchell is all right. They took precautionary x-rays. He won't return to today's game, but the linebacker who got knocked out on a hard hit is going to be fine. And now it's Fred Taylor on a flat pass, and the Bills diagnosed that totally and shut it down for no gain.
And this is where the Jaguars are going to be in a little bit of a different boat. This is a passing situation here, under 2 minutes to go. They stayed in this football game by handing the ball to Fred Taylor. They're not able to do that in this situation. We'll see how they fare.
Brunell, who will not be a Jaguar next year because of his cap number, makes a throw, and it's incomplete. Mark Brunell's cap number next year against the salary cap will be $10.75 million.
The Jaguars have been very open about the fact that they don't believe they're going to be able to keep Mark Brunell.
If they do, they'll be paying him close to $220,000 a week on a year-round basis.
Yeah,
good business at quarterbacking.
It's good work if you can get it. But Mark Brunell has been the only starting quarterback for the Jaguars franchise. And let me tell you, Don, if his contract is up and if he goes on the free agent market, there will be teams standing in line for his services.
Dallas.
And this is why he's expendable. Byron Leftwich was impressive in the preseason. He looked poised. He had a big arm. He made checks. He had signed, and 2 days later played in the fourth quarter of a preseason game and was calling audibles, brought the team back from a fourth quarter deficit and won.
Yeah, he was the 7th player picked overall in the draft.
He's the real deal.
And he's a smart guy. They said he picked up everything. What held him back was he held out and reported late. But they said if he was in camp on time, he might have beaten Brunell out this year. 6'5", 241. He threw for 12,000 yards at Marshall. 89 touchdowns, 29 interceptions. A plus there on touchdown interceptions, 60 as Prelo has helped off.
Pearson Prelo, the free safety.
Where are the Bills? Where are they weak, this team? Being a former Bill who led them to 4 Super Bowls.
Well, I didn't really lead them to 4. I tagged along for 4 Super Bowls. That's
not my humble opinion. You led them.
I think the weakness right now has to be they haven't had a chance to rush the passer very well. I think if they can get pressure with just 4 guys on defense, they're going to be an even better team.
Here's Brunell, fires over the middle and gets the big guy. Kyle Brady, the tight end, who was flattened earlier by Winfield. Posey brings him down. Kyle Brady, originally a Jet, #1 pick of the Jets in '95, and in that draft, Bill Parcells said he thought he was that Brady was the best player in the entire draft. Brunell dumps it off. This is Brandon Tofield working the middle of the field with 33 seconds left. And the Jaguars signal for and are allotted their final timeout. Takeo Spikes with the stop.
Jacksonville, it will be a 30-second timeout.
Mark Brunell is masterful in a lot of ways. He's an accurate passer. He's very mobile as a quarterback, but he also has a great feel for handling the clock at the end of halves and the end of games. Last week, he and he alone gave the Jaguars a chance at a 55-yard field goal that was ultimately blocked. But the play he made with 4 seconds left in the game said all you need to know about Mark Brunell. He was the factor in the fact that the Jaguars stayed in that game after blowing a 17-point lead.
He's going to be 33 years old in a week. It seems like he's been around forever. He's the only starting quarterback the Jaguars have ever had. Came to him in a draft day trade from Green Bay. Right now, second down arises. Time very much a factor as the Jaguars need big plays, down 21-7 in the first half. Brunell with a deep drop. Here comes the heat. He dumps it off. Mark Edwards, the fullback, gets it, and Mark Edwards is cut down short of a first down. But the Jaguars quickly into alignment without a huddle. No timeouts left. Game clock down to 15 and ticking. 3rd and short. Timing throw. No foul call to the dismay of the Jaguar fans, and that's Matthew Hatchett saying he was interfered with.
I don't think it matters because Matthew Hatchett got pushed out of bounds on the far side. I think he became an ineligible receiver. Watch, that's Winfield again, and he can chuck him within 5 yards.
Well, that wasn't 5 yards.
That wasn't 5 yards, but if it's
15 yards.
That wasn't too far. But that was not penalty. That was not a penalty. That ball was way up ahead.
Details are sketchy as to how many yards it was.
Yeah, certainly not enough to be called.
4th down. Here is Burnell on 4th down. Throws a flat pass. Red Taylor gets ahead for a first down. There's still 2 seconds left now. Their kicker is hit from 55 yards in the preseason. Line of scrimmage here is the 42. Something close to 59.
59. You're not going to hit that on a day like today.
Well, you take a shot. I think you got a better shot in scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, I think
the Bills are going to have more guys playing center field than the Yankees.
Yeah, they're going to try. They're not going to try the field goal. They're going to try the Hail Mary or hook and lateral. They may try. Here's what I think the Jaguars will do. They'll probably line up. I don't think he'll throw it to the end zone. I think he'll throw it short and try and make a lateral or something. Although with this alignment, that may
Cal Stanford play.
That may be it. But I think he might be trying. He's going to throw this to Kyle Brady and let him tip it.
Brunell airing it out. A lot of people around that ball, and it's knocked down nicely. So Brunell still strong of arm. Rifles at 65 in the air, and the first half ends with the Bills taking early command, 14-0. Then seeing the lead cut to 14-7. Finally, they win it, lead it 21-7. We'll be back after a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Premiere Monday begins with the hit comedy Yes Dear.
You really think that you can do a better job disciplining our children than we can?
I think a monkey and a blow-up doll could do a better job.
Then it's last season's #1 new comedy, Still Standing.
Hey, Brad Pitt, your six-pack shot.
Followed by the Raymond season premiere.
Yeah. Who?
And Charlie Sheen in the new series 2.5 Men.
Will you take me swimming in the ocean?
Why would I lie? The ocean is closed today.
It's a night of premieres Monday, September 22nd, and Dave's all new on The Late Show.
Survivors Overboard in 4 days. Don't miss the premiere. CBS this Thursday.
The Dolphins will go for it on 4th down. Wheeler's going to throw it over the middle. Hits his man. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Miami.
Show your pride. Call 1-877-NFL-SHOP or go to NFL Shop on NFL.com for the biggest selection of NFL gear. For a free team catalog, call 1-877-NFL-SHOP.
This is only a fest, a rib fest from Damon's Grill. For the next 30 seconds, you'll see mouth-watering ribs on Damon's Grill. Should this fest become an actual hunger emergency, go immediately to the nearest Damon's Grill and choose your favorite sauce from our incredible Rib Fest menu. With ribs and wings starting at only $9.99. Choose new roasted chipotle or new Caribbean jerk barbecue sauce. Hurry into Rib Fest, starting at only $9.99. Available for a limited time at Damon's Grill. We now conclude this fest.
Imagine having it all. The Total Choice Premier Package from DirecTV delivers over 195 channels of our best programming, including all of our premium services, HBO, Stars, Showtime, Cinemax, and Sports Pack. Get more movies, more sports, and the maximum entertainment variety with Total Choice Premier. Call 1-800-DIRECTV and order today.
Sunday Ticket is brought to you by Damon's Grill.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report, sponsored by Nextel, nationwide walkie-talkie.
What a start to the day. Hello, everybody. Jim Nance on the Nextel Halftime Report along with Dan, Dion, and Boomer. We saw 3 touchdowns in games in the first minute here, but we welcome 2 audiences, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and those of you watching Buffalo against Jacksonville. Let's begin now with, as you take a look here at Steve McNair and the Titans against the Colts.
Yeah, Tyrone Calico catches a 7-yard touchdown pass right there from McNabb. And then Edgerrin James. Now, this is what big-time backs do when they're in small spaces. Lower your shoulder, dig a hole, and make a touchdown. And then right before the end of the first half, Peyton Manning in the shotgun finds Marvin Harrison down the sideline. Now look at this catch. Look at this concentration. What a play by the big-time receiver. And then right at the end of the first half, Titans, Stephen McNair, his throwing hand hits the helmet of Chad Bratsky, number 92. He goes to the sideline. Billy Bollick comes in for Tennessee. We have not had an update at this point with Steve McNair whether or not he'll return in the second half.
Well, as a quarterback, dislocated finger, how soon can you return in some cases?
You know what? Phil Simms' kid came right back into the game in a preseason game out in Japan.
All right, Boomer, here's the Bills against the Jags.
Travis Henry right here, grabbing up the middle for a touchdown. If you have a passing game like Drew Bledsoe has a passing game, it's easy to make these type of plays out of the backfield for Travis Henry. On a big fourth down, Mark Brunell showing that he's not old as you think he is. Goes over top, then right here, he's only 57. Drew Bledsoe hits Bobby Shaw on a blown coverage. It had to be a blown coverage to get that open. Bledsoe with 200 yards passing in the first half.
Bills up 2 touchdowns. There have been 3 returns for touchdowns in Kansas City. A kick return on each side for a score and a kick return by the Chiefs.
Play action pass right here. Plaxico Burress going over top, making the play. That's why he's a big-time receiver. Priest Holmes with 78 yards in the first half. It doesn't look like anything is wrong with that hip. Trent Green back to pass. Who else is he looking for? Jason Dunn. Have you ever heard of this guy, Boomer? And right here, he's picked off right here by Jerome Woods.
I heard of this guy.
Takes it 48 yards, high stepping, prancing a little bit, showing his thing. 27-17, Chiefs.
And the Chiefs are at the 48 of the Steelers last minute of the first half. How about this one?
Oh, how about this one? How about Jamal Lewis? Second play of scrimmage to start the game. 82 yards for a touchdown, the longest touchdown run in Ravens history. And let me tell you something, if Kyle Bowler doesn't throw an interception later on in the first half, this game could be out of reach. Right now, Ravens are up 16-3, just smothering the Cleveland Browns. Will Kelly Holcomb be benched?
Lewis has 182 yards on the ground. Dolphins all over the Jets.
When you have a runner like Ricky Williams, you can run a bootleg with Jay Feeder. Look at him directing traffic, pulls it down, tucks it in, wham, runs over 2 Jets to get in for a touchdown, puts them up 7-3. And then a little quick play here to Randy McMichael. He just beats the linebacker real easy, goes in for a touchdown. The Miami Dolphins are dominating the Jets right now.
The Jets have only scored 1 touchdown in the last 10 quarters against the Dolphins. Saints hosting the Texans. Houston's inside the 50 at the 48 of New Orleans last minute of the first half. Washington was down 17-0, got back into it, and the Falcons put another nice drive together, up 10. 49ers, Terrell Owens went out in the first half with a concussion. He has returned. Ty Streets holding a touchdown for the 49ers. And the Lions cannot stop Amon Green, over 100 yards rushing in the first half, also busting free for a 62-yard touchdown run in the first minute. When we come back, we'll take a look at our doubleheader games, New England, Philly, Denver, San Diego, Cincinnati, Oakland, as we continue on the Nextel Halftime Report in just a moment.
Get a sneak peek at the new fall shows on CBS and a behind-the-scenes look at CSI and CSI Miami. Plus, find out how you could win an all-new GMC Envoy XUV, the most adaptable SUV ever. Pick up your sneak peek DVD. It's free and it's only at Blockbuster, the best place to rent or buy movies and games.
New season. New night.
You sure you don't want to try the skim milk?
The King of Queens season premiere.
Just trying to think outside the box.
Wednesday, October 1st.
This is Reuben Brown of the Buffalo Bills. Reuben helps the United Way build stronger communities by participating in after-school recreational outings that help kids succeed. To all of his fans, Reuben's a hero. To some of his fans, Reuben's a hero.
There's an easier way to get the gear the pros wear. For the biggest selection of authentic NFL gear from all 32 teams, call 877-NFL-SHOP. Call 877-NFL-SHOP for your free team catalog.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report, sponsored by Nextel, nationwide walkie-talkie.
And welcome back to the Nextel Halftime Report. Jim Nance here in our New York studios. Big doubleheader day on CBS, and coming up, many of you are going to see New England against Philadelphia. What do you see here, Dan?
Well, first of all, neither team scored last week, so we're going to see the quarterbacks have to play a lot better. Donovan McNabb, we got to get him outside of the pocket, do what he does best, making plays, running around down the field. And Tom Brady, the secondary for the Eagles are struggling a little bit. Look for him to throw the ball a bunch today.
You know, speaking of quarterbacks, out in San Diego, Drew Brees loses his top receiving threat, David Boston, and hey, look, Jake Plummer gets a break. Second week in a row, he's on the road, gets a chance to straighten it out before he goes back home. I just think they have too much for San Diego to handle.
Speaking of too much, I think Oakland may have a little bit too much for Cincinnati to handle. Cincinnati proved last week they cannot stop the run. They couldn't stop Portis. But Oakland, they will not rely on Charlie Garner with the ball. They want to drop back and get the ball to Brown and Rice, and that's something they have to do. But Cincinnati may close the gap and may make this game competitive.
All right, fellas, again, here's the lineup coming up. Our Week 2 doubleheader. It is New England at Philadelphia, Denver at San Diego, Cincinnati at Oakland. And the NFL on CBS will continue in just a moment.
In my dream, I'm in a museum.
Executive